Hey you guys, this is Rico, and I'm back again. Hope you guys are doing well, because I'm here. And let's do another video where I put two Korean artists against each other, kinda. I'm full of destruction. I'm so destructive. I know people are like, oh my goodness, why are you doing this? Like, you are causing mayhem right now. Like, can't I love both? I guess, but these are just like kind of my thoughts being put out to you guys and how I feel. So let's do this. We are back again with these two bands that are now very established. They're under JYP Entertainment. One has been around for more than 5 years. I can't believe this. Like, it feel like just yesterday. God, time flies. Like, it really does fly. So we have Day6. And the other band is Xdinary Heroes. I feel so dyslexic. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been a fan of this group, and I've been calling them just extraordinary heroes. Like, I know that it's not spelled correctly. It's the wrong spelling, but my dyslexic ass was still calling them extraordinary heroes. Extraordinary heroes. I found out how to say it correctly before I spoke it out. In my head, it looked like extraordinary heroes still. That would have been cool though if it was that. But first we have Day6, who was created in JYP's basement. kinda, kinda maybe, yeah. But this is a band that started making music and no one knew nothing about them. I don't even think I knew what they looked like until like they did their music video, and I felt like I still didn't know what they looked like. Like, they were just really just down in the basement. They weren't doing any live shows in the beginning. There was no interviews in the beginning. Like, I was a person like when they first came out and they just had that one mini album and I knew nothing about them. The song they were promoting at the time was not my favorite, but I still checked out the mini album, and I loved the songs on the mini album. So I was like, you know what, maybe I should hold on. Maybe I should stay in there and be somewhat of a fan or see what they do. So they would go from there to release more mini albums that finally led up to an album. And by that time, I was kind of hooked. I was like, this is a band that's really needed in the landscape of Korean mainstream pop music, because there are not a whole lot of mainstream Korean rock bands. Now, there are a lot of rock bands in South Korea, don't get me wrong. I know there's like a misconception, but they're more in the indie scene. We don't have a lot that are in like the big three that are like mainstream rock bands that are like actually visible right now, except for maybe like the old school ones that have kind of opened the door to the bands we have now, like FT Island, CM Blue. So it's really cool that we had Day6 come along from JYP Entertainment and to be making an impact without really doing too much promotion. And I'm not sure what like JYP's plan was, but I guess that's why they had other avenues to try to promote their music. They were doing music videos, but it wasn't until way later on in their career where they really started doing like live shows and interviews and things like that. Because I knew nothing about them. I just knew that the music was good. They were very much an experimental pop rock band. There was, you know, the keyboards, the guitars. There was a poppiness and there was like a ballad feel to their music. When they finally released like their first full-length album, I was so enthralled because like the first half of the album is like hard-hitting rock music. Like, I was not expecting that. Like, they went hard on like that first half of the album. Then it went back to being like catering more to the South Korean palette of what they like as far as like ballads and, you know, love songs and all of that. But it's interesting to see this group and how they have really morphed and changed, and how the lineup has changed, and how we get some that are doing like solo music. Young K is really like the leader now of the group. I think he was always kind of like the leader, But there was definitely a time where Jay, who is now an ex-member of Day6, got a lot of notoriety, and I do think it was because he was always kind of in the front doing something, whether he was always been outspoken or whether he just had like a personality where he caused you to look at him. I remember watching their live performances and even buying the concert DVD with Jay and just noticing him. Even on stage, he definitely had a presence. Their relationship, in a way, concerning Jay went sour, and I want to say it was more with JYP than the band members and Jay themselves. But at the same time, looking at like Jay being himself on the internet and on streaming, and Jay being very outspoken, I think that a lot of Day6's fans started to dislike Jay even before he officially left the group. I want to say there was a lot of frustration there. I think Jay was working hard to really promote the band. I think he wanted to do solo stuff and had all these ideas. And I don't think that JYP really respected his vision and what he wanted to do. Because in Korean culture, it's very much like, keep your head low, listen to us, do what we say. It's a group effort, a group collective. And if you go outside of that, you're causing trouble. You're being annoying. You're being a nuisance. And so, with Jay being so young, I think, and also coming from a different culture outside of South Korea, that caused a lot of friction. And it also caused Jay to be somewhat of a person that was on edge, especially in his lives. And I think that people are allowed to express themselves. I think that people are allowed to feel kind of disgruntled and upset. Idols, Korean pop stars are people. So, he was always very much, this is how I am. So there were things that he said that rubbed a lot of the fan base the wrong way. So it became very much like Jay is the problem. Jay is the problem child. Jay is doing all of this and he's causing problems for Day6. Or, oh look, Jay said something on his stream again and he said something about this girl and he called her a word and oh my goodness, and he's just annoying at this point. I'm gonna be honest, when all of this was going on, I felt no ways. Why? Because I felt like Jay was being human. I don't feel like Jay was causing problems for the band. I just felt like Jay was being Jay. When Jay said what he said about this certain other person, this female, I was just like, when I first heard about it, like, what did he call her? And then when I went and I saw what it was, I was like, that's it. I'm like, so if she knows she's not that, then why should she care about what he said about her? If she's not that, then she's not that. Like, it shouldn't matter. Okay, he said what he said. If it was a joke, if he was joking, okay. If she knew that he was joking, okay. But I'm going to be honest, too, with this. I'm going to be real. People were looking for anything to jump on Jay about, because they already didn't like Jay because Jay was already very outspoken. Jay would get on his stream and they would ask him certain questions and he'd be like, why are you asking me this? And I would be like, hey, it is what it is. Like, there are some people that ask stupid questions. There's some people that ask questions where it's like, why are you asking this? Like, there's some people that don't know boundaries. There's some people that say stuff on stream and it's just like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, you look weird. Why are you asking this? Like, how would he know? So, he was very vocal about how he felt about the K-pop industry. He was very vocal about a lot of things. Sometimes he would snap at people. I think it was very much like he was going through a whole lot. And, he's been very vocal with his mental health. And, after a while, Day6 kind of slowly faded him out. And, they said they were going on a hiatus, and he hiatused himself on out of the band. And, but just kind of like he was there and then he wasn't. While people were picking and jumping all over Jay. I'm over here and I'm like, he was a pivotal part of Day6. No matter what anyone has to say about this man, he played a big part of their sound, of their lyrics, of the overall musical expression of the band. I'm gonna keep it real, like I always do here. Day6's music has not been the same since he left the band. And this is no disrespect to the members that are still in Day6. I listened to their newest EP, and the song that they were promoting, that they're still, I guess technically promoting, they're like on tour right now. I think it's a world tour. Sounded just like their member Young K's solo stuff. And people called it out too. And people kind of like glossed over it. Like, oh yeah, this kind of sound like a part 2 to that summer song that Young K did. And mind you, I love Young K's solo stuff. I actually bought, I think, the album. I did buy it. And I like it. Like, I'm so in support of, like, when I see South Korean artists doing, like, rock stuff and in the mainstream, I'm like... But it did bother me that Day6's music sounded so much like Young K stuff. And I do believe that they say that they're all promoting and all putting their talents and their ideas into their music. But it also feels like Young K is the one that's actually like putting a lot into their newer releases and into the production of what they're doing. Wherein in the past, I felt like Jay was a very emotionally expressive artist, and it came across in their music. Their earlier stuff, ooh, it has so much emotion. One of my favorite songs, still my favorite song of Day6 to this day, is 누군가 필요해. I Need Somebody. Love that song. I still listen to that song to this day. And it's not even, it's like a B-side to one of their singles that they did. Their music now, I listened to their new EP. I've listened to that EP maybe once or twice, and I have not listened to it since. And it's not even that the music is bad. It's just that the music isn't rememberable. It's just that the music, I listen to a lot of music, and like it's just not something that left a mark on me with all the other music that I listen to. Now, Day6's older stuff when Jay was in the group, I go back to that. I listen to that. Like, because their music was so expressive in emotion. Like, you felt it, like the lyrics were deep. You could feel that whole vibe of the bilingual lyrics and how it flowed together from Jay and Young K. And it was just so in harmony. And like, even like watching the concert DVD and seeing them perform 누군가 필요해. Oh, like, just everything. Like, Jay brought something to that band. And it makes me sad to see him doing interviews where he's finally telling his side, he's crying. And I'm like, I was never against you, Jay. You know, like, there are people that was never really against you. And he's had so much backlash that he's made up in his mind that he has no right to speak on Day6 or that he's a burden to Day6. No, brother. You have every right to speak on Day6 because Day6 would not be where they are if it wasn't for you and your contribution. Don't you ever think that you don't have a right to speak on that band. You worked hard, just like all the rest of the members worked hard. You contributed. It doesn't matter if people like you or don't like you, if they feel a certain way about you and the things you've said in the past. No, you have every right to speak on Day6. It made me kind of sad, and like to hear him express himself and say like he didn't even want to do rock music or he didn't want to go to South Korea because he has this idea in his head like everybody's against him. And not everybody's against him. Only the sensitive ass people are against him. And I'll be honest, I really don't like Jay's solo stuff that much. But like, I respect him. I respect what he's doing. I do feel like that his expression lent to Day6's overall artistic vision, and it makes me sad that that feel isn't in their music anymore. And you know, like, they could get it together. They might come out with something new where they really like bring it again, and they might find like another version of what they had. But for right now, I miss what they had. I really do. And they should give Jay props. Everyone should give Jay props because y'all don't realize how much he brought to the music. Y'all don't realize what they were doing in the studio and how they really made something beautiful. And I still have all their old albums and the old music to remember that. This other band, I still want to call them Extraordinary Heroes. Xdinary Heroes. Oh my dyslexia. They are a whole just idea. From how they dress, the hairstyles. Oh my goodness. I did not like them when I first heard them. Their music sounded like noise to me. But they got it together and they started coming out with more and more stuff. I was listening to their music. I was like, why their music sound like soundtracks for a movie? I'm like, why their music have such a flavor that like it like cuts you deep? And like they really in there doing that thing. Like, it's so many different sounds coming together. And I love how JYP allows them to just experiment. And I guess it's because they are a band that's doing music that's like, it's not considered like the most popular music in South Korea, but it does have a fan base. And also they're getting more recognition outside of South Korea as well. But oh my lord, like their music, it's rocking. Like, it really is. Like, when they release something, I'm always like, because I'm like, I want to hear what they come out with next. Their newest release, they were doing screamo music. I was like, they allowing them to go all out. They allowing them to just be crazy. I love it. I love it so much. I love how they don't sound like anybody else. I love that they are just allowed to just be free and artsy as they want to be, and how their music constantly changes. I really fell in love when they released Pluto. Oh, I was like, this is my band right here. Like, they doing the damn thing. And even their newest stuff they come out with. Now, I will say I do have a gripe. They released that new album, and most of them songs were already released as singles. Didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. Give me new material. Like, I already have them singles. I have them already. I follow y'all. Give me another mini album with whole new songs. Like, you all can't deprive me like that. You had me over here, I'm thirsty. I'm thinking I'm about to run to the river, then I trip and fall and get knocked out. Like, no, you gotta give me more music now. Like, I'm hooked at this point. It's interesting to see them too, because they were another one that was in the basement for a little while. Like, they weren't really performing. We didn't really know too much about them. Like, but I actually liked that for them because it was very mysterious. Especially like when we saw like the images and the photos, concept photos of them, and like we didn't really know like how their personalities were, anything like that. And just seeing the music videos and seeing the pictures, it led to the music overall, because the music was like just like otherworldly. And it's still kind of otherworldly. I don't like everything they come out with, of course. Like I said, like their music kind of was like a little messy in the beginning, where I was like, they sound like noise and I don't like it. But then, ooh, they sound good now. Even like the vocals. The rapping is kind of questionable, just a little bit. But you know, like they're a rock band, but I mean, Day6 too. Day6 rapping kind of questionable too. I mean, it's not like legit rap, but it works for what they're trying to do. And there was a discrepancy when they first came out. This band was said to be the replacement for Day6, and a lot of people are like, they're not Day6's replacement. To be honest, it kind of was like that because Day6 wasn't active when they really hit the scene. So it was like, okay, we're getting another rock band. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't understand people that are so sensitive and want to shy away or want to, like, pretend like something isn't what it is. Like, nobody was saying that they were replacing Day6 permanently, but Day6 wasn't active. So we have this whole other band to look at. And you know, at first I was like, I like Day6 more because, like I said, their music, like the choruses of their songs just sounded so messy. Like it was so much going on. But then, like now, I get to hear the talent. Like they actually can sing. The music sounds right. Ooh, like they're doing it right now. And they are kind of giving what I wish that Day6 was giving right now as far as artistic expression in their music. Day6 is in this kind of, we're real mainstream. And this other band is very much like, we're gonna do where we feel like our soul is being pleased. Or like it speaks to my soul. Like that's the type of music that they're coming out with. And I feel it. Whenever I listen to them, I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I love music like that. When like you listen and you feel something. I don't really feel too much when I listen to Day6's new music. No more than like, okay, it's catchy. And then I move on. But Extraordinary Heroes, I still want to keep calling them that. Xdinary Heroes, they kind of have my heart right now. So, like, you might ask, like, with this whole verse, who wins? Xdinary Heroes wins this one. And if you had asked me some months ago, it would have been different. It definitely would have been. But right now, I'm actually more into them. Like, I'm actually, like, really interested in them and what they're doing. I still have, like, Day6 kind of on the side. But, like, ooh. It would be cool if they collaborated with each other, too. I would love that. Like, oh, my goodness, I would love that. So, yeah, you guys, how do you feel about these two bands? If you haven't listened to either one, check them out. Definitely check out Day6. Definitely check out Xdinary Heroes. They have a lot of good music. Both bands have amazing music, and I think that you would like it if you're into like pop rock, hard rock, ballads. Dig in. Follow me on social media, mostly my Instagram. Also blog News and Pop Culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real, and I will always be back. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.